Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Crable on set with the Coffee with Kim show. We're back in California filming a brand new series. You're not going to believe who's stopping by for coffee. Come on in, join us.
And I've got the joy deep down in my heart. I'm waking up with your love from the start. I'm chasing the rainbow through the rain. I know it's gonna be a beautiful day.
I believe we can all agree on one thing today. I'm quite sure we would agree that we've all made mistakes. We're human. But here's something a little harder for us to believe, that our mistakes can be pathways to miracles in our lives. I struggled to believe that for so many years. I lived behind a mask so no one would ever see what a mess my life truly was. I lived without hope, convinced that I had permanently blocked God's plan for me. Can you relate? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee, the place where we meet to have ongoing conversations of friends of faith to encourage and equip. I'm Kim Crable, always delighted to be your host. Well, just like you and I, today's guest can relate to living with mistakes. After she made a series of bad choices, her pastor husband announced from the pulpit of their church that their marriage was over. That was it. She couldn't imagine how God could rebuild her life and marriage, but He did. Today, our guest is co-founder of Redemption Church, a mega church that started in Greenville, South Carolina, and now has campuses in San Jose, California, and the Dominican Republic. When she is not helping her husband lead Redemption or spend time with her grandchildren, she travels to Pakistan, Dominican Republic, Argentina, Mexico, wherever else the Lord leads, to show women how their lives can be transformed by God's grace and His power. When we return, Hope Carpenter will be with us to share that same message with you and I today.
Kim Crable knows all about hidden shame and regret. From the time she experienced a life-altering trauma at age 4, Kim became an expert in hiding her hurt and confusion. The trick she discovered was to sing a little louder in church and to smile a little wider with friends. In her transparent story, Burdens to Blessings, Kim invites you along the journey from shame and sadness towards healing and hope. In the process, you'll encounter the upside-down truth that God uses you because of your hurt and uncertainty. Order your copy of Burdens to Blessings right away at Amazon.com or simply go to www.kimcrable.org and click on the Shop button. Discover the confidence and courage to be you again, and discover the power of your story. Along the way, you'll help other hurting people change their burdens to blessings.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee. Oh, my goodness, what an incredible discussion we have before us today as we welcome Pastor Hope Carpenter.
Oh, thank you.
It's so wonderful to meet you.
Yes, you too.
I've read your books. I see your YouTubes. I see you on TV. I see you everywhere. You are busy.
I'm a busy girl.
Ministering to women.
Yeah, I love
But
it.
before we talk about that, are you a Gigi?
I am a Gigi.
I'm a Gigi too.
I'm a Gigi of 5.
Are you?
Yes.
I have 2, and that's grandmother.
Listen, it's the most wonderful job
Yes.
on earth.
Yes.
Yeah, it's our reward.
Yes.
For raising our children.
The
I do
Bible
believe
says
it.
that our
Yes.
children are like a crown
That's
to
right.
us. So there we go. Our grandchildren
Yeah.
are. So we're both Gigi's. So
That's
we have a
right.
lot in common.
We do.
Because I also love to spread hope
Yeah.
to hurting women.
Me too.
We have a lot of those. You and I have both hurt.
Been there.
Yes. So let's talk about that a little
Yeah.
bit. You have this most incredible story. So most of the they can pick this up, they can read your story.
Yeah.
But today, let's take moments to minister to those who are
Absolutely.
hurting.
Absolutely.
Because don't you think the church is in a dilemma today? You know, there's bumper stickers that says not perfect but forgiven.
Yeah.
It's not easy to show our imperfections, is it?
No one wants to hear it. We say we do. We say we want you to be real and raw. But when you are,
Yes.
then you feel like you get crucified for it or judged for it. And, you know, an interesting thing that happened a few weeks ago, my son was dating a girl, and he was inviting her family to church, and they were like, well, no, you don't want my kind at church. And my son was like, no, we love everybody at our church. And he said this, he said, yeah, I've heard that before.
Yes.
And that just broke my heart, because I thought, that is how we're viewed.
Yes.
That's how people look at the church as, they're going to look at me, they're going to judge me, they're going to talk about me. And it's true. It's happened so many times. And I was in ministry, married to a pastor,
Yes.
and did not feel the liberty or the freedom to say, hey, wait, I'm struggling. I'm dying over here.
Why is that? Because I was the same way,
Yeah.
Hope, for years. It was like I would walk into a church and I would look around thinking, if I could find one person that didn't look perfect,
Yeah.
I would run to them.
Yeah.
What are we to do differently?
And the truth is, they're not. None of them that looked perfect. I looked perfect. You did too, right?
Right.
But we're all dying inside. That the truth is, we all want to live this amazing life that we read in the Bible.
Yes.
This abundant life, John 10:10.
Yes.
But we don't know how.
Yes.
Because we have issues. We have brokenness. We were raised in dysfunctional homes. We had divorce and rape or abortion or abuse, whatever it is, and we stuff it down because we feel like, now that I've gotten saved,
Yes.
everything's supposed to go away. Now, why do and then you feel this crazy feeling like,
Yes.
why do I feel the way I feel? I know Jesus loves me. I know
Yes.
he's provided all this stuff for me, but why do I still feel cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs,
Absolutely. Well,
And
I never
nobody
thought
talks
like that,
about it.
but well, that's the thing. And here, do you think, and this is what I found being in women's ministry and being a
Yeah.
counselor, is this. I see so many women in the church who are trying to serve. Now, 80% of them are still sitting on the bench
Yes.
because we're so afraid that because of the voices that we're hearing.
That's right.
But the ones who are, do you think that goes to, because so many are trying to serve without being healed?
Oh, yeah, absolutely,
That-
100%. But we don't know what that looks like.
Right.
The church has never talked about that type of healing, emotional healing, or we talk about physical healing,
Yes.
that type of thing. But we don't talk about, let's delve into what happened growing up. Let's delve into what you did as a teenager or prior to coming to Jesus. We're just like, oh, it's washed away. Everything's good now. And it's not. The only thing that really happens different when we get saved is that our spirit man comes alive.
That's right.
Our mind still remembers. Our body can still do everything it did in the club. And we still have the same desires. And the Bible is clear about sanctification is a process. It's
Yes.
not a one and done type thing. It's a daily renewing your mind through the washing of the word. It's a daily reprogramming, and it has to be dealt with. But we don't talk about that in the church. We've done a terrible job.
Well, we're almost crucified if we are,
Yeah.
because it's like we said, we really want people to be true and authentic
Yeah.
until they
Until
are,
they
and then
are.
it's fearful unless you get with the right people,
That's
which I
right.
know that you can do.
Yeah.
One of the things that in this beautiful book that you've written, The Most Beautiful Disaster, this book is going to help so many people.
I
It's
pray
so
it does.
real, it's so raw. But one of the things that really brought tears to my eyes was when you were kicked out of your home, your
Yeah.
church, and you went back to the place where you had felt so much hurt.
Yeah.
And you said, that's where I belong.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that, because I believe that was God taking you back to where you really needed to be healed.
Yeah.
What a moment. What a picture
Wow.
for us to see.
Yeah. We had 30 minutes. There's so much to talk about, but
I
it's
know.
all in the book. It's all in the book.
Yes.
But yes, I had lived like 9 years, a double life, really. Just in 2004, I woke up and said, I can't live in this pressure anymore. I cannot live fake. I can't wear this mask anymore. And I took off making a series of decisions to feel good, because I had been suppressed so long. So I thought feeling good, the party, that's letting off the steam was the answer. But in turn, it put so much more pressure, so much more bondage, condemnation on me. So in 2013, I came to my husband and told him everything that had been going on in my life. He suspected we'd been fighting. It'd been hard. And he said, you got 30 minutes, get your stuff, get out. And the saddest day for me, Kim, was when I did go through my phone and I said, I have no one to call. I have nowhere to go. Because everybody in our life worked for us or was
Right.
under us, and I was wrong, so I knew that everybody would side with my husband. And so then I remembered this place that we sent all the other crazy people to, all the other broken people, as
Right.
if we are not all broken.
Exactly, yeah.
It's this island of broken people. And so I called them, and that's where I ended up in North Carolina at a ministry home called Living Waters, just a piece of heaven. And listen, it was the most horrible thing to the world.
Yes.
It was the most horrible thing that had ever, they were devastated. The church was hurt. My family was hurt, and rightly so. But to me, it was the most beautiful thing. That's where the title of the book came, is that when I crumbled and when I had nothing but Jesus, that is where he met me, and that is where he started rebuilding my life. I mean, it was awful. It was shameful. It was on a public stage, which was extremely emotionally devastating. But it was a process, and that's what the book is really about, is the process of God taking my brokenness and making something beautiful out of it.
I believe that healing cannot begin until you speak that hurt and someone receives it and lets you know it's going to be okay. Talk about how important it is to our friends who are listening today that are feeling, they know the mask is on.
Yeah.
They're very active in their church. They may even be the pastor's wife or a
Yeah.
pastor.
Yeah.
But we all have the same hurts,
Yeah.
the same battles, right?
It's a scary place.
It is.
Because you confront that idea that, I may lose everything to get free.
Yes, yes. But I remember getting to the point to where you said you were. I got to the point to where I could not take the pressure anymore. I decided I'd rather not have any friends than have the friends who
Than
just
to live like you were living.
Well, yeah, exactly. So let's talk about, maybe even speak to the women who are there, who are listening, and where do they begin, Hope?
Wow.
Where do you begin if you're thinking, I just don't know if I can live? Because
Yeah.
even the suicidal rates,
Oh, yeah.
everything, with the addictions, everything is escalating
it
right now
is.
because of the
The pressure's on.
hidden pain,
Yeah.
shame, guilt, and regret. What
And
do you
it
say
will
to
come
them?
out. That hidden pain, that shame, that guilt, that pressure, it will come out.
Yes.
We're not built to carry that.
Right.
Especially if you love the Lord like I did. I loved him so much,
Yes,
Kim.
yes,
But my life was a mess.
yes.
And I believe there is a whole colony
Yes.
of broken Christians.
Oh,
That we love the Lord, but we are so messed up and we're so broken.
Oh, Hope, and the enemy's using that against it. It's the voices that are constantly saying, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
You know you can't be used. You are
Yeah.
too broken. And that is not anything that Jesus
That's why he
Christ would say
came.
to us. Exactly.
That's why he had to come. That's
That-
why he died.
And that's what we have to set women free
Yes.
from, is to be able to help them to understand that it may be the hardest thing you've ever done in your
Yeah.
life, but it will be literally the first day of the
It
best.
is.
Right?
It is. It really, and it's a process. It's not quick.
Right.
It's not easy.
Right.
It's going to take a lot of courage and a lot of,
Yes.
and gritting your teeth to get through it. But oh man, the prize is so worth the process. And listen, this is the theme of my life. Really, is if you don't fight, you don't win.
Yes.
If you just lay down and just say, I'm going to live like this for the rest of my life, and this is my lot in life, or you look over at your husband and you're like, I got to live with him the rest of my life, No, God can make that beautiful. I mean, marriage is not meant to be tolerated. It's meant to be celebrated.
Right.
And
Yes.
and it's in speaking. You said, where do they begin? You have to start with speaking the truth in love.
Speaking it. You have
Yes,
to, it has to come
You have
out.
to say it out loud.
Yes, yes.
And it has to be established. It has to be put on the table. This is how I feel. This is what I think. This is what I'm going through. Whether anybody likes it, judges you, you have to find a safe place.
Yes.
Whether with a counselor, a pastor, a friend, somebody, but you have to get it out on the table. It's just like having a motorcycle accident on the freeway or on a back road, and you get all this gravel and all of this stuff all in you in the dirt. What do they do in the operating room first?
Yes.
They clean
it out.
They get the stuff out.
And it hurts.
Yes, they get all the stuff out and they
Yes.
put it out on the table before they can start doing any real work.
That's right.
And that's the same way with us. We have to get our stuff out.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so that we can look at it and say, okay, well, is this real? Is this not real? Is this a lie that I believe to be the truth?
Yes.
Now what am I going to do with all this?
Yes.
But it takes courage to do that.
It does. And one of the things that I've learned is that God will give you someone to talk to.
Yes, He does.
If you will look around, He has already prepared someone. You just have to find the courage. And boy, doesn't it take courage.
It does.
It takes courage. But one of the things in my healing, I remember when I first began to share, I remember how I closed my eyes. I shared my heart and I closed my eyes. I think I was thinking that everyone is going to run. But I discovered something, and I think that is probably the basic reason that you wrote your book, is because when I opened my eyes, I saw the friends to whom I'd shared with tears running
Yes.
down their face. They just needed someone to speak their truth.
Yeah.
So they could speak theirs.
Yeah, it's true. And that's the promise God gave me when I started this whole journey in 2013 of my own personal healing was Genesis 50:20.
Oh, yeah.
You know, what you meant for evil, He meant for good.
Yes.
For His glory, but
Yes.
for the salvation of many.
Yes.
He
Yes.
uses what we go through so that we can help somebody else. That's how we overcome, is the blood of the Lamb, the word of our testimony, so that we can take somebody else out of darkness and say, hey, I've been there, I've done that. Let me help you.
Yes.
And He gave me that promise.
Because we're not going to connect with people looking perfect and acting all
right.
perfect and polished,
That's
right?
right.
We are going to really meet the masses when we are showing our most vulnerable, because that's how they relate to us.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for. How hard has all this been for you?
Oh, wow, Kim. It's been tough. You know, you get through some things in your life. You have devastation like that, and you want to just put that way back here and tuck that back here in this closet and say, oh, look what God did. It's great now. Let's keep going. Let's don't talk about it anymore.
Exactly.
But to write the book and to dig it all up and then to talk about it and have my husband sitting, it's painful. It
Yes.
stirs up hurt and pain and emotions, but it's really been beautiful to see any more layers that really we need to deal with and we need to sit down and talk about and say, well, oh, I'm sorry that I said that or that hurt you. So yeah, it's been painful. It's been a journey, but my goodness, the testimonies, Kim,
Yes.
that are coming in where you saved my life.
Yes.
This book saved my life. This
Yes.
book saved my marriage.
Yes.
So it's worth it all.
So it's hard, it's not easy,
No.
it is humbling, but you would do it all over again
Absolutely,
because
100%.
you're being used in such a powerful way. And
Yeah.
that's what I want our friends to hear,
Yeah.
is that, yes, you mentioned something that I love. It's one of the chapters in my book. It's about fighting for your future.
Yeah.
Because for so many years, I was fighting my past. And it didn't matter how much I fought my past was never going to change,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We can wish we hadn't done something.
No, it's there.
We could wish someone hadn't done something to us.
Right.
But truly, the fight is
It's
for,
for
what
your
God
future.
has
Yeah,
for us.
it's for your destiny.
Yes, yes. And fighting for all the other ones who will listen and will
That's
hear our
right.
testimonies and will be able to come forward.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So the book is beautiful. There's so many things in here, so many. You can see how I've just devoured
That's the way
it.
I do a book. I mark up a book like that.
Yes, yes. So tell me, as you're looking at and you're thinking about the church and all the many people who are in the church who are just hurting right now, if you could say anything to them to encourage them, project them out 5 years.
Wow.
If they start today, what is the hope? Hope?
Yeah, what is the hope? I'll tell you, the rest of your life can be the best of your life. It really can. If you're willing to tackle all these issues, we all know something's wrong. You
Yes.
feel it on the inside. Something's wrong. I'm not thinking right. This is the way I tell people in our church. I teach a class called Healing the Heart, is that if you continually have adult problems adult relationship problems.
Yes.
You've got some issues in your heart.
Yes.
Because God created us to love and to be loved. That's what we all want anyway,
Yes,
right? It's
of
just to
course.
love and to have a good life. And if our relationships are messed up, that's an indicator that our heart's messed up, that our
Yes.
heart's bruised, that our heart's hurt. And God wants to dig in there and heal that, and He can. But I do have to warn you, it's not quick.
Yes.
We all want that quick fix. You know, this is America.
Yes,
We want
drive-through.
instant. Yes, we want. But if you've ever had my grits, you'll never eat instant grits again.
I remember reading that. Tell us
Right?
that, yes.
I mean,
Yes.
it takes time. Good things take time.
Yes.
And I can say that I hate this cellulite on my thigh all day long, but if I'm not willing to get up and go to the gym and push the plate back, I really don't hate it.
Right.
So if you're not willing to pursue healing, you really don't hate the place you're in. So the proof of desire is pursuit. You
Yes.
got to do something. You got to change something. You've got to put boundaries in your life. You've got to X out those friends who enable you and who applaud you for bad behavior. You got to discipline yourself. You got to get off of Netflix and get in the Word of God. You know, we say we want all this healing. We want this freedom in Christ. But how much time do we put into it?
Exactly. And it really does take discipline. It
Yes.
takes intention. It takes getting up every day and thinking about what you're thinking about.
Yes.
And I love what you said about choosing the people you're around.
Yeah.
You know, and someone said to me the other day, well, Kim, even Jesus went out with the sinners. And I said, yeah, but he didn't become like them.
No.
Right? He was ministering to them.
That's
so we
right.
really have to be selective.
Yeah.
And what do you do, Hope, to keep yourself authentic? Because isn't it true that you go out and you are authentic, but then the walls can come back up immediately?
Yeah. Well, I really have become a loner, honestly. I have a select group of friends.
Yeah.
I have, you know, I spend a lot of time with my children, my grandchildren, because
Yes.
I'm a great Gigi.
Yes.
And my husband, my church. My circle has become about this big,
Yes.
you know. So you start out in life and in ministry, you have all these lofty things you want to do, and then you get 50 years old and you're here.
Yes.
So for me personally, I have huge boundaries in my life.
Yes.
I have learned, you know, I know what my weakness is. I know what my problems are.
Yes.
I know what not to watch. I know what not to listen to. I know I have to get up every morning and spend time with the Lord.
Yes.
I know what fuels Hope Carpenter.
And every person must know themselves and
Yes.
know their triggers.
Yes.
Hey, Hope, we have to take a little break. When we come back, I have a surprise for you.
Oh, goodness.
We'll be right back.
Okay.
Burdens to Blessings with Kim Cravel is a program that challenges women to discover the confidence and courage to stop hiding and show their true self to God and others. Because when you are real with God and each other about the hurts and regrets you carry, you will be showered with opportunities to help other hurting people change their burdens into blessings.
For me, it's been a place where you can just go and feel welcome, feel safe, feel like you can tell the group anything and nobody's going to judge, nobody's going to laugh. People are going to nod and say, I've been there, I've been through the same things. You just feel like you're not alone.
It's an opportunity to understand that you're not alone. You're not unique going through life unhappy or sad or hurt or, we're all in it together. We're all going through something, and it's an opportunity to open that door into the room you closed 15 years ago and peek into it and express how it's affecting you and what it feels like in a very safe, loving environment.
But I think everyone can benefit from just a pure human perspective to say, what is it that we struggle with as humans, not as Buddhists, not as Catholics, not as Christians, not as, Baptists, but as humans. We're all in different parts of our journey and different struggles, but that we do experience a lot of the same things, and that can bring us together instead of walking in judgment of each other.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Coffee. Oh my gosh, I knew the time was going to fly by so quickly, but let's pick up where we were before commercial. You're talking about how your circle has become small.
Yes.
Well, in that circle, tell me, who is Ron Carpenter?
Oh, he's the most wonderful human in the world. That's my husband. That's my husband.
And so your relationship was healed.
Listen, I just can't explain to you. I mean, I'm sure you know, you've heard, you've been around the block a time or two, and you interview a lot of these people. But what God has done in our marriage is just one of the most phenomenal things I've ever witnessed, really. We humbled ourselves, we've cried, we've done the hard work, we've put in the time. And I would not take $1 billion gazillion for what we have today.
And you never thought it was possible, did you?
No.
That's what's so amazing is when we put ourselves out there,
Yeah.
God can do what seems like is so impossible.
true.
Well, I talked to him yesterday.
You did?
I did. And I asked him, I said, what is it about hope that makes you giggle?
Oh.
And he said he just loves to watch you trying to get awake in the mornings.
Oh, no. He
said-
didn't tell you I stomped, did he?
No, but he did tell me that you're not a morning person.
No, I'm not.
And you don't like to talk, and you really
No.
don't even like to make eye contact.
No.
He says,
Don't touch me
He says
either.
he says that makes him giggle, which I just
And
thought,
that's what he wants to do, all the more.
yeah.
You know?
Oh, well, I told him, I said, my husband's the same. He's such
Yeah.
a morning person. I have to have my coffee. But then I asked him, what do you love about her? And he said, she is one of the most courageous women I have ever met in my life. He said that you have given yourself wholeheartedly to God and to be restored, even before the masses of people. And he says that what he is most grateful for is how you were so patient with him during his healing.
Makes me want to cry.
He loves you. He adores you.
Yeah.
You have done the hard work. And that's the message to the church today.
Yeah.
Is to throw yourself out there and do the hard work. Hope Carpenter, I think you're amazing. And I love your story. And I just thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you for having me. And you just made my day.
Oh, well, I am so glad. Because like I told him, I love
Where's
to
the
honor.
tissues?
I love to honor God's women. Thank you.
Thank you so
Aw,
much.
We're so grateful to Pastor Hope for sharing her life with us today. Isn't it so freeing to hear firsthand how even in our worst disasters, God can and desires to make something beautiful happen? It's true. It's really true. God can make miracles out of our mistakes, your mistakes today, if we'll just let Him, if we'll just ask Him. Please contact us if you made any decisions today. Let us help you with whatever is going on in your heart. We would love to follow up with you with whatever you need. And don't forget to order your copy of The Most Beautiful Disaster. You'll read more of Pastor Hope's incredible story, and you'll gain the biblical wisdom and action steps for moving forward from your pain in your life. Thank you again for joining us. As always, I'm so honored to be invited into your home. I look forward to seeing you at our next coffee. Thank you.